Tonight, we're hearing from an outspoken West Warwick priest who recently made national headlines. He made comments about plans to deny communion to local lawmakers who support abortion legislation.
And this has some lawmakers calling for some action to be taken against Father Richard Bucci.
Eyewitness News reporter Logan Wilbur is live in West Warwick with what both sides are saying tonight. Logan?
Shannon, Mike, this pro-life versus pro-choice argument leads to state lawmakers and a local pastor calling for each other to leave the Catholic Church.
That's the teaching of the Catholic Church. And if you don't like that teaching, leave.
They just keep pushing more and more parishioners away. They pushed me away a long time ago.
Pushing Representative Casimiro and others away from the church is a flyer sent by Father Bucci of Sacred Heart Church urging churches to deny communion to all lawmakers who signed and passed a pro-choice bill last year. Now some lawmakers are calling for him to leave the church.
Father Bucci should either retire or be removed.
Casimiro says a law giving women a choice doesn't mean anyone is in favor of abortions, but Father Bucci says differently.
You know what that's like? I sell slaves at the market, but I'm against slavery.
While previously defending his stance of withholding communion to pro-choice lawmakers, Father Bucci said pedophilia isn't as bad as abortion because no one dies from sexual abuse. Comments he stands by, but looks to clarify.
I should have phrased it that every child who is aborted dies, whereas at least the person who is abused can be vindicated.
With neither the lawmakers nor Father Bucci willing to give up on their stance, there's seemingly no end in sight for this divide. But both sides know how they would like to see this all end.
He said what he said, and now I think the Catholic Church needs to do something about it.
Well, in my perfect world, it ends with making abortion legal in the cases of rape, incest, and direct threats to the mother's life.
Now, Father Bucci says in his personal opinion, even those three instances should be illegal. Coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 6, we'll hear from lawmakers who say this may all stem from a personal attack. Live in West Warwick, Logan Wilbur, Eyewitness News.
Tonight, we're hearing from the West Warwick priest whose recent actions and comments concerning abortion have gained national attention.
Eyewitness News reporter Logan Wilbur spoke to Father Richard Bucci this afternoon. He joins us now live from West Warwick with what he had to say. Logan?
The pastor here at Sacred Heart Church says denying pro-choice lawmakers communion is about religious beliefs. But one state representative tells me that's not the case. Lawmakers say a flyer circulated by a West Warwick pastor asking for churches not to offer communion to pro-choice lawmakers is not political, but personal.
In December, he threw Rep. McEntee out of a family funeral, and he told her to shut up and get out.
I don't think of her at all, in point of fact, except in the instance of the funeral, which, in my opinion, she desecrated.
Father Bucci admits personal problems with Rep. McEntee, but says that's not why he's speaking out against her and this pro-choice legislation.
She certainly is an agent of this change. She and the story of her sister, I think, influenced people in a way that some of them lost their reason. And I think a lot of the people in general do not know how extreme this bill is.
Father Bucci says he cannot verify claims of abuse years ago against McEntee's sister, but that played no role in recent decisions in asking churches to deny communion to all legislators who voted in favor of the pro-choice bill.
And it was also the anniversary of Roe v. Wade when this all happened.
If you want to talk about Roe versus Wade, this was a General Assembly body voting the way their constituents wanted without letting their religious beliefs getting in the way.
Now, within the hour, Bishop Tobin took to Twitter to clarify, saying no one has an absolute right to the Holy Communion, adding to do so, they must be in institutional and spiritual union with the church. Now, coming up tonight on Eyewitness News, we'll hear from a state representative and her sister who has allegations against the church of abuse. In West Warwick, Logan Wilbur, Eyewitness News.